Hello, you're listening to Tony Slattery's Rambling Club, and you're most welcome.
Hello, my name's Paul Carmichael.
And I'm Alan Lee.
And
I'm Tony Slattery. Sorry, did I interrupt you, Paul?
Well, no, that's quite all right, Tony. I was literally about to say that you've got someone in the shed, but you've popped out a little early, so you must be very excited to introduce us.
That's hence my premature ejaculation. The person I got is a personal comic hero of mine, and I'm going to say it here, I had, like many millions of men and women, did have, and I'm saying this for the first time, a crush on him. He is known round these parts as Lord Clary of Bedside Manor, and he's been invited into my shed with Alan and you, Paul, for a cup of tea and a free associative chat about subjects we know nothing about. If that's the way to put it, by which I mean that's exactly the way to put it. So, first of all, Julian, if I may, Lord Clary, welcome.
Well, how nice. It's been a while since I was lured into a shed by several men. But I noticed that you use the past tense when talking about the crush. So I'm hoping to keep myself nice today.
You haven't changed a bit, if I may say, and you mustn't say neither of you because that would be a lie.
Well, you're wearing a nice stripy shirt, which I remember that shirt when it was a deck chair, Tony.
Well, I can still fit into it. That's the main thing.
That's the sort of joke I would have been doing in 1982 when we first met. Little did I know you were hiding an erection properly.
Well, Julian, our plan today was to go for a little bit of a ramble. Would you like to come with us?
Oh, it'll pass the time, won't it?
It will, yes. Which means, of course, that we must consult the marvellous, mechanical, magical bingo machine.
Tony's enchanted bingo machine. A curious contraption of cogs, levers, and glowing buttons that hums with ominous energy. This machine generates 3 completely random numbers. These numbers are fed directly into the Dewey Decimal System, the arcane reference system by which books and their contents are categorized. In this way, the bingo machine conjures from thin air a topic of conversation so enthralling, so wildly unexpected, that it leaves the members of the Rambling Club both bewildered and vaguely excited. Thus, another evening is saved from the brink of boredom, thanks to Tony's marvellous, possibly haunted and entirely inexplicable bingo machine.
And here we are, ready to begin our first ramble. And the numbers are
8, 9, 3.
893. And if we just tap the top here, we can see that the subject is
Afro-Asiatic Literature.
Well, where do we start?
Where do we start? I've spent 20 years teaching Shakespeare. I feel utterly unqualified to discuss this subject in any way whatsoever.
Kazuo Ishiguro, the British-Japanese author who wrote The Remains of the Day.
Oh, yes. Always a winner.
I agree. And perhaps not, I'm going Japanese. I'm going just for the syllables, really. Ryuichi Sakamoto, who wrote the marvellous song, which is so great it's gone out of my head. David Bowie was in the film. It was called Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence.
Oh, yes.
Now, that was Afro-Asiatic in a Japanesey way.
Japan's in Asia, that can.
Right, okay. So a point for me. Julian?
It's an oeuvre I've rather neglected because they don't go in for buggery and oral so much, which is my main interest in life.
Julian, some of the, if memory serves my university days, some of the more lurid and picturesque temple paintings, certainly to use Maggie Smith's words in Alan Bennett's Talking Heads, they were getting up to all sorts on the wall.
Oh, yes, I don't deny that. I know they got up to it and get up to it every moment your back is turned. But in this, the subject is literature. Do they write about it when they're not so busy doing it?
Oh, well, I think they sort of pictorially wrote about it. But maybe you're onto something in terms of it was officially banned, but then as in many insular religious practices, there are certain things you can see and read, but they're kept from public view because of the fear of corruption.
The only way to find out really would be to conduct an anal examination, wouldn't it? To see if the sphincter tells a tale that the written page doesn't.
That's
The riddle of the sphincter.
the riddle of the sphincter. Now, that's more Egyptian. Oh, I was thinking about Joan Collins the other day, not only because the Joan...
Well known African Asian woman.
No, the fact that she was first choice for Cleopatra, because I was in an old Coward play with her once, and what people perhaps don't know about it is she's so hilarious. She's so effortlessly funny.
Funny and it's kind of, it's the lust for life, isn't it, that is so kind of inspiring to be around.
Yes.
Which Coward play were you in?
Oh, it was a television series called Tonight at 8:30. It was a play called Ways and Means, part of a series. It was lavishly filmed in front of a live audience. Oh, there was Sean Phillips in it. There was Harold Innocent, just Miriam Margolyes, and it was a real hoot. And she was one of the most generous and funny and intuitive actresses I've ever had the pleasure to work with, and that has to go down into Afro-Asiatic literature. Literary history, yes.
Well, I hope she's listening to this.
I think I could actually find a little bit of a link there from Joan Collins to Stephanie Beacham to the subject, because immediately I'm thinking of Tenko, wonderful series, which I've sat through that several times, with these remarkable stars. I mean, you've got Stephanie Beacham and you've got Louise Jameson, and they were treated fairly shoddily. They were taken into the studio, and to get that authenticity, to really make it look as though they were under these terrible conditions, they turned the air conditioning off in the studio. So you can imagine the heat in there. So the sweat and also the anger that would be generated around the set, that was entirely real. It's remarkable to watch them work, especially Stephanie Beacham, who you don't expect to see, well, being shot by a Japanese security guard and dying of septicemia, I suppose.
No, and I worked with Stephanie Beacham. I did an episode of Celebrity Tipping Point, which was a career highlight. And,
Was that
what a
with,
woman.
Was that with who does it? Ben Squareshaw, Squarejaw.
Yeah, and talking too quickly so you can't hear the question, man.
Yeah.
Yes, him. I think, people that do those game shows, they're locked in there. They do about 5 shows a day, don't they? I mean,
Indeed.
just rather yourself.
Well, you did Blankety Blank, talking of Afro-Asiatic novels. It's a loose translation, but you were wonderful in that. But I remember doing Trivial Pursuit, and it was 6 shows a day for about, 10 weeks. The Family Channel, what a misnomer that was. And I think you do go a bit potty with it.
I know. People don't realise how hard we work in showbiz.
It's true. Everyone talks about, it's like, look, being on telly and being in films or panto, you're the king of panto. We know that. The whole world knows it. And, you hear actors say, oh, how can I describe this? Like climbing Everest naked with 12 dead huskies round your... It's impossible. But I think that's a really accurate description of what we have to go through.
If only I'd been a miner or, a brain surgeon or something, instead of this awful career as a camp comic and renowned homosexual. Somewhere along the line, I took the wrong path.
I think almost everyone would disagree.
You're so kind. I'm filling up.
Speaking of which, are you going to be making up for the lack of buggery and oral in your new murder mystery?
There is some buggery and oral in it. I think it's what the public want. And yes, it is called, what's it called? Curtain Call to Murder. And unlike a lot of celebrities, I write my own books. And I think it's an absolute scandal that some people don't. I don't know how they sleep at night.
No.
I've just been on the literary festival circuit, because every one-horse town now has a literary festival. And I've sat in the room with these celebs who told me not only did they not write their book, they haven't read it. And then they go out and speak to the public about it. It's a bit like this program, making it up as you go along. And I think it's an absolute scandal. I won't name any names, but they know who they are.
Yes. Well, I remember, I think she was a Big Brother starlet, as it were. She was a breakthrough. Her name was Gemma Collins. That's right. And she went on, and she was actually refreshingly open about it. She said, she was asked by whoever it was, so you've got an autobiography out. Have I? All right then. Yes, you do remember. No. Have you read it? No. Who wrote it? Well, surely you did. No. But anyway, I've got Hollywood agent. That's the main thing, isn't it? So, this is the world we live in.
I love Gemma Collins, actually, because she's a real, she's very, as you say, very honest and straightforward, and certain star quality about her.
Yes. And a great embonpoint.
Oh, what's that?
Embonpoint.
Have you had a stroke?
Yes. We all need one.
Embonpoint.
Embonpoint. See, I did French and Spanish at university. That's one of the things I remember. Meaning a very impressive lady's breasts. It's a miracle I turned out the way I have, really.
It's the area just above the cleavage.
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay. There's a heterosexual in the room, everybody.
There are two, actually.
You didn't need to point them out. I can tell from their hairstyles and their unironed T-shirts that they're heterosexual.
Three, 5, 5.
3.5 is military science.
Oh my God.
Quite. Every schoolboy and schoolgirl should know that the hydrogen bomb is quite different from the atom bomb because it's 1,000 times stronger. Now, let's talk about the difference, perhaps. Over to you, Lord Clary, or indeed you, Paul, or indeed anyone but me, please, concerning the essentials so that anyone can understand the difference between fission and fusion.
Now I can help you here.
Really?
Yes. Well, I spent several years in my youth in the army, and I remember when I arrived at the barracks, I was shown in to the sleeping area, and the sergeant said to me, "Top or bottom?" I said, "Well, let me get unpacked first."
I wonder where they're going with this.
And I remember we did attend when we weren't pounding the beat in the courtyard bit. We had to do a lecture about the difference between fusion and fission. Is that what you said?
Fission.
Fishing.
I get fission. I think you said frisson.
Oh, I wasn't paying very good attention in the lecture. I may have nodded. I was exhausted due to all the marching you had to do. And anyway, I had to sign the Official Secrets Act, a DNA. So I don't really know if I should be loosening my tongue here and talking about fusion to people who may have access to this. If this information got into the wrong hands, then
Right. Except I think you've unwittingly described, as part of the whole Cold War thing, a real error in that they missed out. They had the fission bomb, the fusion bomb, but they didn't have a nuclear frisson bomb, which surely would have caused huge civil unrest worldwide, because people would have just been frotterizing each other into submission.
Destroys buildings, leaves people horny.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
yes. Well, and what about what it does to your hair? All of these bombs. It's not good for your hair.
Well, military science has not been able to solve the problem of frizzy hair. We could go back to Afro styles. Afro styles are deliberately frizzy. In fact, yes, there's a campaign to get more Afro haircuts on emojis, and that's ongoing.
I'm all for it. And nothing can explain why Alan has got a centre parting, which, you don't see many of those around nowadays. Not since the 70s. Alan, is this due to some military activity, your centre parting? Have you chosen that yourself?
It's actually a demonstration of fission, because as you can see, the hair is separated down the centre. So different.
Yeah.
Fusion is when things come together, fission is when they fall apart.
And frisson is what you get from your wife when you comb your hair and split it.
I think that's static.
He's very clever, you know.
Well, he keeps it hidden, though, doesn't he? Which I think-
Yes, I think they're coming back, those centre partings. You've still got a good head of hair, Lord Clary.
Yes. I'm very lucky. It is the Irish blood in me, I think. But no. Yes, I'm thrilled because some people, mentioning no names at this time of life, it's all gone, hasn't it?
Completely, yes.
It's a tragedy that some of us have got to put up with, yes. Mine started to go when I was 22. Felt a little bit.
Were you traumatised by that?
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely. For
I like that you've grown hair around your chin to make up for the lack of hair on the top.
Well-
You've got the sort of head we could turn upside down and it would still work as a face, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yeah.
Or on Guess Who. I'd be quite good for that as well.
Yes, or early Victorian card games.
Oh, like Happy Family.
Happy families, yes.
Something
When
like
you
that. Yeah, that would be.
Yes.
But was it military, the subject? Sorry, was it
Military science.
Military science.
military science? I mean, there was one thing that someone said before. There was a plan. I can't remember. Alan, you might remember this sort of thing. But wasn't there a plan, might have been Vietnam, to spray the enemy with something that would actually just generate this massive sense of arousal in them? I'm sure that was a plan at one point, as some sort of like really unusual chemical warfare.
This sounds like one of the CIA's brilliant ideas, like the time they tried to assassinate Castro with an exploding cigar.
It's similar, isn't it?
It is.
But you wonder what goes on. There's places in Norfolk, Thetford, and you drive through the forest, but there's miles and miles all of chain link fence, which is all military secret activity, and it's inside those places where all the military science is going on, isn't it? Where they are experimenting, like with these arousal drugs or exploding cigars.
That's
and
right.
Who's paying for it? We are.
Yes, that's right. And there was a good program on telly about, wasn't just about the Vietnam War, it's specifically about how insects, especially during the Cold War, were used in specifically a form of tick, which spreads a horrible disease called Lyme disease. And so they were dropping these millions of weaponized kicks just to see how. And they dropped them on Connecticut because they thought no one will notice. And everyone in this small town near Connecticut had the most terrible disease, and they didn't really discover what it was. So they had it invented. It was absolutely artificially produced. And it's one of those horrific things, Julian, you said about this is going on under our noses. God knows what they're trying to do next. So that's weaponization of military science.
Well, germ warfare has a long and proud history, doesn't it? It's how the conquistadors wiped out the Mayan population in Mexico.
But that wasn't deliberate. They was just the pathogens they brought with them.
They used to give people blankets that had belonged to smallpox victims. In the hope that the smallpox was... And of course, in the medieval times, they used to fire dead bodies into castles that were under siege. They'd tying them over the ramparts with a catapult. It burst on contact and spread decay and the various diseases that go with it all over the inside of them.
Have you ever thought of writing children's stories yourselves? Yeah. No, that was fascinating and horrible as well.
We don't know the half of it, do we, really?
Well, no, we don't.
Things that you think are, natural may all be created by the military for their own dodgy... it's horrible. Oh, this has quite upset me, this conversation.
One of those few areas of life where you know that conspiracies are actually... Most conspiracy theories are bollocks, but the military does conspire. That's part of what it does. It secretly hatches technologies and plans.
That still doesn't explain the existence of that program Pointless, which I think does so much damage to people's well-being.
Do you know there's a channel somewhere on your TV where they just play Pointless? Oh no, it's The Chase. It's The Chase, isn't it? 24 hours of The Chase, and they have it on in care homes, and people just... It's a form of station. It's probably invented by the military.
I think you're absolutely right. And probably, in unlikely circumstances, a combination of the Chinese, the North Koreans, the South Koreans, the Americans, some people from Norfolk, yes.
And Bradley Walsh.
And Bradley Walsh, and whoever the guy, Alexander Armstrong, is apparently very nice, but I can think of no more cruel or unusual punishment than being forced to watch Pointless.
If they're doing that all day in care homes, it's no wonder this government's pushing for euthanasia to be legalised.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm so glad I came into this garden shed. Well, to be able to sleep tonight.
What a jolly bunch.
Oh, but it's fascinating. I think it is fascinating free associating with you and as a friend and my new friends and everything, because it gets a lot off your chest as well and sets the imagination afire.
Racing. I know. You just don't know where it's going to go, do you?
No.
You don't. And sometimes it goes nowhere. Like a pause. Well, I'm exhausted. I'm going to need a lay down in a darkened room after this.
Four, 2, 1.
And the subject is English writing systems and phonology.
Phonology.
Could you just demystify phonology? Is that to do with sound or something?
Well, it is the same root as phonetic. It's the sounds of a language. And I spent, when I was at university, I did do a paper on phonetics. I've forgotten a lot, so you spend a lot of time with headphones on. And I'd like to think in an earlier, I'd love to have been involved, say, in breaking the Enigma code. But most of the time it was rather workaday stuff because I did Spanish philology, which is the development of a language. And basically it came down to trying to pinpoint when the phoneme became in 1581.
Yes.
So that was the level of expertise.
Oh, it's like
Yes.
English in the great vowel shift, isn't it? Which is
That's exactly right.
why a lot of Shakespeare's rhymes don't work anymore, because we don't pronounce the vowels the same way we use. Is that right, Paul?
Yeah, that's right. So that's why you should still say your beloved and that sort of thing. You should still have those there if you want to be accurate. And yeah, the rhymes don't really work at all. And there's a lovely sonnet where you've got to be able to rhyme love and prove, otherwise it just falls apart in the last seconds or so. And that's just absolutely. Prov would have been the original. It works beautifully then, but yeah.
It's the same as like regional differences in words, or am I straying off the subject? Because I married a northerner in a moment of madness, and I say I'm going for a bath. He says, "Ooh, I'm going for a bath," and I go for a walk on the grass. He goes for a mince on the grass. Is this phrenology or what?
Oh, see, that's interesting because I misheard you there, and I thought you said phrenology,
Oh,
which is the feeling of the bumps in the head, and used to be regarded as a science and some kind of dictator of how your mental state was.
yes, I've got a bump here.
Have you?
Look at those. It's like horn. You'd have to feel me to know what I'm talking about. And I'm a happily married woman. But no, look, either side there's these lumps. That if the subject were about the bumps on your head, we'd be laughing.
It was a Victorian craze, wasn't it? I think it was the Victorians who started looking into that and taking it really seriously. It's weird, isn't it? They're so ahead on certain things, but on the other hand, they're trying to read the bumps on people's heads. So you've got...
Yeah, and didn't they think that if you've got a certain type of forehead, then you're criminally, inclined?
Flat, I think. A flat forehead meant you were criminally inclined. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was physiognomy, wasn't it? They believed that your facial features were reflected aspects of your personality.
Yes.
There's a lot of kind of very bad racial science.
Oh, of course.
Social Darwinism and all that bullshit.
Yes.
But I think they would persecute you on those grounds, wouldn't they? Like if you had the wrong shaped nose, then they would send you off to Australia or whatever.
Well, certainly. I mean, when Shakespeare was writing, just before the Civil War, if you wrote something that people weren't keen on, then the two punishments they would inflict was they would clip the top of your ears to straighten them, and they clip the end of your nose to flatten that off, just to make you look different, because people associated looking different with being, well, in some way, quite malignant, I suppose.
Oh, so they actually thought it worked in reverse as well. If you change somebody's appearance, you'd change their personality.
Really?
Well, it would do, because you'd react to how people were treating you, I suppose, at that point. So it becomes a vicious circle. So it was a way of making you an outcast, I suppose, just unnoticed by society as someone who hadn't conformed. Probably that.
Like branding, yes.
Yeah.
I've suddenly had a kind of zoonotic jump, I suppose, in terms of species. I love dogs. I think you do as well, Julian.
I do.
Yes, but I used to watch Crufts a lot, and then it kind of became embroiled that, and was apparent that the striving for some kind of aesthetic perfection, especially in the canine physiognomy, as well as the curvature of the spine, actually looked great, but they were doing them great harm and great suffering as well.
And now we have to endure Claire Balding if we watch Crufts. Being nice all the time. So yes, things are what they were.
Didn't it used to be Peter Purvis being quite cross?
Peter Purvis, or am I mixing them up with someone else? Perhaps he just died.
Peter Purvis just died.
Has he? Oh, I'm so sorry to hear.
We mustn't.
Someone Google Peter Purvis.
He's still alive, Peter Purvis.
Oh, I've always liked him.
Peter Purvis is still alive, so that's all good news, especially for Peter Purvis.
Yes.
Well,
I mean, we didn't really know what sort of program this would be, and now we're even less sure.
Well, I think it's the Bring Back Peter Purvis podcast, isn't it? This will sweep the nation.
Now that he's not dead, it's pointless.
He did the one show, didn't he?
That's hardly a comeback, love.
No.
Well, you can't be picky at our time of life.
Okay. Well, you could be picking because you're huge.
I did Tipping Point, so
I don't know how picky Peter Purvis ever was. He used to do Genie Kickstart.
Did he?
Yeah.
Was that a home train?
Teenagers on quad bikes
Oh dear.
for half an hour. Yeah.
Teenagers on quad bikes for half an hour.
Yeah.
A little known play by J.B. Priestley. Currently unavailable in print.
can I ask, because Julian, with English writing systems, do you consider yourself now more a writer than a performer, or do you balance that in your own life? Or...
Well, they're all the same to me. They're all means to the same end. I only write silly books, really. So I only want to make people laugh, whether it's when they're reading a book or when they're at the Palladium or in a room above a pub. I don't really mind.
Right.
So I think if you do something very narrow in life, like you decide, I'm only going to make, jokes about buggery and oral, it's one or the other. And if you want to spin that out for 40 odd years, you've got to find different strands to that.
Right.
So that's my excuse. And I like being on stage, but then I also get fed up with it. And I think, well, it'd be nice to be at home for a few months and go on some sort of inner journey and write a book. But they're all really about getting a laugh, I think.
Because you've both done those long West End runs, haven't you? That must be after a while. Does it just become muscle memory after a while, or do you still get the adrenaline, or is it very much?
Well, I've got into trouble because when I was doing cabaret, unbelievably, I was cast as the MC in cabaret some years ago, and I can't sing and I can't dance, but it's mind over matter. But I got bored, and there was one point where I was supposed to come on and say, "Willkommen." And in a matinee, I thought this will be funny. I came out and I said, "How common," instead. Well, I was in terrible trouble. I was frog marched to the company manager's office and told that, it was not the Julian Clary show. I must do it as scripted.
Except, I think the first people who would spring to your defence would be Canda and Ebb and Bob. They would say, "Julian, we haven't thought of that. Keep it in." What a brilliantly anti-fascist swipe to it, and surreal at the same time. Oh,
well, I only did it once.
Right. If that is not in any future production of cabaret, I'm going to boycott it.
Well, that's why I like panto, because you can do things like that. You are allowed to be yourself, even if you are playing Robin Hood or whatever. I'm Robin Hood this year.
Yes, with Jane McDonald.
Jane McDonald is my love interest, and the jokes will write themselves. She does cruising shows, doesn't she?
Yes, she does.
What a gift! I'll give you a preview. She says at one point, "Can we go cruising on our honeymoon, Julian?" And I say, "It seems a shame to wait till then, Jane." Oh, yes, they can't touch you for it.
No, and also Nigel Havers, I'm a huge fan of his, and he was quoted as saying the other day, and I thought I'd tell it to you because I did remember it. He said, "Being on stage with Julian is one of the most dangerous and beautiful things anyone can experience."
I'm so awful to him, and it's our 9th year now, and I make terrible jokes about his age and incontinence. And now it's got to the stage where, aren't you dead yet? And you couldn't do that with many people, but he absolutely loves it,
Of course.
it's a joke that's that's run for such a long time, it's now kind of galloping. I don't know what we'll do this year. He's playing Friar Tuck.
Is he? So he's not playing Baron Hard. Didn't he usually play Baron Hardup or someone?
Well, there's no Baron Hardup in Robin Hood, is there?
No, there isn't, is there? That's the Sheriff of Nottingham.
He's going to be Friar Tuck, an old man touching cloth. Oh dear, it gets us out of the house.
And brings joy. Brings joy. And so also, to be circular, to the point of, see, Panto, obviously it's a great historic tradition, going back through, Paul will know more about this, through the Commedia dell'arte, and the language of Panto has survived in so many different ways, as have many of the conventions, and that's why it's. Am I right in thinking it's not quite understood over the pond as much?
No, it's not. They don't know what's going on. People bring Americans to see us, and I think they get the basic story, and it's always good will triumph over evil, and but they don't understand what's going on when I am having a go at Nigel or just being rude and talking to the audience and forgetting about the fourth wall and saying, does this go on for much longer or whatever? That is a mystery. But then lots of British comedy is a mystery to Americans, isn't it?
And it's something we must cherish.
I know, because I went to America and tried to do my act there. Well, there was, after the first night, it dwindled, shall we say, and it was just me and my pianist and 3 people in the audience. And I went off for a costume change and thought, I think I'll just go home. And I did. I left Paul Russell, my pianist, on stage playing lead with the pack for about 20 minutes. Well, that's America for you.
They were wonderful. They're worse. It's their loss, Julian.
You do get the occasional American actor who falls in love with Panto and comes and does it I think Henry Winkler was one who used to come
That's
out.
true, yes.
Yeah.
Is he still like Captain Hook?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And Hasselhoff, of course, is a big... But then it's a very Hasselhoffian thing. It's all very over the top.
Yeah. I saw the group shot of the lead players in glorious colour the other day. It's just stunning.
For Robin Hood, yes. They do spend a lot of money on costumes and things. And for me, they do half the work for you. As long as I can get it on and stagger on stage with my arms outstretched like Tony LaRue, you can get a standing ovation. You haven't even opened your mouth.
Just by coming on. Oh, yes. They are perhaps the unsung heroes, aren't they?
Oh, Hugh Durrant designs all mine. He's the unsung hero, and so are the dressers, yes.
Yes, indeed. Gosh, they have to work hard.
Someone has to pull my trousers down 18 times a day, and I don't think even my husband could better that.
And here we are back in the shed. Our rambles for now are done. So, thank you, everyone. But thank you most of all, Mr. Julian Clary, our guest. Have you enjoyed rambling with us today?
Do you know, I've had a lovely ramble, and I'm red raw from it. So I can only thank all 3 of you.
It's been an absolute pleasure. It really has.
I can hardly walk.
So thank you all for listening, and we hope you enjoyed this week's meeting of the Rambling Club.
The club meets every Friday, but if you'd like to get in touch in the meantime, here's how you can find your fellow members.
Tony's official website is at www.tonyslattery.com, and you can get in touch on the contact form on the website.
We're at Twitter at Slattery Live. Feel free to use the hashtag TSRC to discuss any of this week's topics.
I'm on Twitter too, at Paul Carmichael V.
And Tony also has a Facebook group, which is at www.facebook.com/group/the Tony Slattery.
And you can find Tony on Instagram at Tony_Slattery_official.
And Paul, if people want to join the Rambling Club for themselves, how do they go about doing that?
Well, Alan, if you head to www.patreon.com/Slattery Live, we will be delighted to welcome you to the club, and you'll find some lovely perks there for members.
We'd be welcome to delight you, would we? That's
we'd be welcome to delight you. I will get this right one week, but not this.
So please do get in touch by any of those methods. We would be delighted to hear from you.
Yes, thank you. So again, thank you so much, Julian. And also, if anybody's looking to grab a couple of extra presents for Christmas, then Curtain Call to Murder is out now, isn't it?
Yes. Have you done this sort of thing before? You seem to be having while speaking. It's a shame, isn't it?
It is a shame.
Anyway, yes, no, there is a book out there. Curtain Call to Murder, as you almost said, is the title.
And Robin Hood, I think, is running till the middle of January.
Yes, at the Palladium, we'll be there. Yes.
So, thank you, everybody, for listening this week, and we hope you enjoyed joining us on our ramble. And until next week, it's a goodbye from me, Paul Carmichael. Goodbye from Mr. Alan Lear.
Goodbye.
A goodbye from the president of the Rambling Club, Mr. Tony Slattery.
Goodbye.
And a goodbye to Mr. Julian Clary, our very special guest.
Another goodbye.
Thank you.
You have been listening to Tony Slattery's Rambling Club with your host, the club president, Tony Slattery. He was accompanied by Stephen Free as the voice of the bingo machine, and by our very special guest, Julian Clary. Tony was assisted by Paul Carmichael and Alan Lear. The music and silly voices are by Michael Livesey, and the show concept is by Paul Carmichael. Our producer are Stuart Morris and Alan Dibing, and the show series producer is Erika Lear. Our executive producer is Chris Castle and the series executive producer is Mark Strickson. Tony Slattery's Rambling Club is a Fanfanitel production.